Hi folks, we hope you'll enjoy the upcoming answers to this hot question. Strippers of Reddit, what's your weirdest story while working? There was a regular who would pay for a VIP and ask you to sit with your legs open while re-shined a flashlight right at your bits. He'd pay for half an hour at a time and just peer into the cavern like. Damn, the coronavirus hit gynos that hard, huh? HMMMN, yep. That's almost definitely a vagina there. There was a guy who was super drunk and telling me he was there with his wife, but it's cool, they have an open relationship thing going on. Cool, whatever, none of my business. We go and start a dance. Maybe a minute in, this woman runs around he corner and starts screaming at him. He starts screaming back, and pretty much tosses me to the floor and runs after her, dropping $100 in the process, while also already having paid for the dance. I grab the money and try to find out what happened. I asked a waitress if she'd seen where he went and she said he'd just been kicked out for choke slamming the woman into a wall. So I got to keep the money, which was kinda cool. Had another guy pay me $700 to literally just rub my feet for 2 hours. I hate foot stuff / people touching my feet, but duck man, $700 during a day shift was pretty sweet. $700? That's some fetish. One of my coworkers is an ex-stripper. She has 1.5 million stories of creeps, gropers, men who've requested disgusting things and extremely aggressive and entitled lesbians, but here's one story that she likes telling. So, she was giving a dance to this guy, he paid for a VIP room and she was giving him the full show, as he paid for it, but he wasn't enjoying it, at all. So, about halfway through her routine he just stands up and says, "What the hell am I doing? I gotta pay the car registration, gotta pick up the mail, mow the lawn and 1 million other things." He then paid for the full session and left. Dude went to a strip club on his day off but couldn't enjoy it because he had a bunch of chores that needed doing, went to a strip club, couldn't get his mind off what he should be doing and left. Not a particularly funny story, but she always laughs because of how utterly ridiculous it is. Not really weird but sad. One time I was doing a VIP session, and this dude legitimately told me to stop dancing, and basically broke down in front of me, telling me he was only there because his friends dragged him along to cheer him up. From what he told me, he caught his wife in bed with another man, and they recently just got divorced. He told me his now ex-wife told his kids that he was the one cheating, and his kids basically hated him now. I've never felt so bad for a total stranger all my life. Poor guy. Why cheat when you have children that is ducked up? Why cheat? Just effing break up if you are unhappy. When I was a stripper, a customer visiting from Canada bought a lap dance, and while we were back there, he tried to talk me into going to his hotel to give him a hand job for $200. I declined multiple times. He took the hint, and also came in his pants during the lap dance. He leaves, life goes on. I strip, but this is actually my coworker's story. She was sitting at the bar with another dancer and a guy walked by. Her friend said, "Quick, put your head down on the bar and be really still." She was weirded out, but she did it for a few minutes, and when she came back up, he had left $1,000 next to her head. Friend told her he was a regular, and he was really into women pretending to be dead. This is like a video game trick to get more money or something. Once some guy took me to VIP and kept trying to make out with me and saying, "Do you like me? Do you like me?" It was very sad. Narrator, she did not like him. Bruh, I heard this in your narrator's voice. My brain automatically went to Ron Howard a la Arrested Development. When I was in college, I had this professor in a lecture hall who was a total narcissist. He thought all other books written for the subject was incorrect and had the class buy his own written and published textbook at a $700. To pass the class, we needed that book, so I had to buy it. One weekend night, the professor drops in for a dance, and in my mind I'm just like, he about to pay me back my money for his stupid textbook. Was able to give him a lap dance when mid-dance he asked me if he could stick his tongue in my belly button. I told him in a joking manner, "That'll be $700 baby." And what do you know? Got my money back. I'm pretty sure he didn't know I was one of his students, as he barely acknowledged his own students anyway. Why is your whole comment surrounded by quotation marks? A guy came, told me I looked intellectual, and began to debate me on how gay marriage shouldn't have been legalized. In 2019. Guess what kind of club we were in? Clearly debate club. A mass debate club. Guy probably thought he was a master debater. Not a stripper, but I did work in a strip club as a bouncer, which provided me a great story involving one of the girls. Her name was Robot, Totally cool chick which had quite a following with the locals. In particular, one regular of hers would come in once a week, without missing a single week, and get the same private dance from the same girl, Robot. During his private dance, the man, who was a big fellow, weighing about 350 plus, would ask her to take her stiletto heels and put them down his throat, followed by a splash of creamer in his face. He paid her $400 each time. Creamer as in the stuff you put into coffee? That's the stuff. I had a virgin man from India once who booked me for the champagne room. He offered me an extra $400 to stick his index finger in my badge for a few seconds. Lol. Lol. Did he know he could go somewhere else and get far more than that for $400? That's what I wondered. I obliged, of course, who wouldn't? I'm no longer in that industry. I certainly have crazier stories, but this has stuck with me. Poor guy. Hope he finally got to explore a vagina properly. Hate to be nitpicky, but I believe it's vagine. Cousin's friend is a former stripper, told this one at a family gathering. Essentially, this dude paid for the full VIP treatment, room and all that. But 4 minutes in or so, he wanted to show his dogs. He spent the entire rest of the time showing her his dogs and videos of them playing. She asked him why he spent his money for the full VIP treatment just to show dogs. He said, "Oh, I just wanted to show my dogs to someone, but couldn't find another way." That's oddly wholesome. But it says so much about our society that someone paid hundreds of dollars in a strip club because they were lonely and no one else cared about them. Hit Club, guy who was a celery farmer came in and gave us all free bags of celery. There was also Candle Guy, worked at a candle factory and would bring in the reject candles. Supposedly other farmers with various free foods would come in, but I only got hooked up with celery and candles. The only appropriate way to stalk a stripper. Not a stripper, but my buddies dragged me to a strip club when I was 18. I had a baby face, no facial hair, and felt so awkward. People kept looking at me like, "How the duck did you get in here?" One stripper even asked me if it was past my bedtime. My friends thought it would be funny to buy me a private dance without telling me. This 40-year-old Latina MILF pulls me aside into a little booth. She closes the curtain and starts to do her thing. As she bends over, she lets out the loudest queef I've ever heard. Awkwardly enough, I laughed and she got up and left. I sat in the booth until somebody brought me back to my friends. Turns out they paid her close to $100 for that. I went home that night and told my girlfriend what happened and she died laughing. I'll never be back to another strip club. Thanks for the laugh, this is hilarious. Any stripper has at least one story per week to fit this. Some of mine. A man kept referring to me as kid during a VIP room. At first it was kid like shoulder punch kid. But in the last few minutes of the dance he started saying it creepier. And then he said, "T bet you let all the little boys touch your little pussy." And at that point, I knew he was a pedo. A guy with a piss fetish pissed on a girl without consent in the very last minute of their room, obviously. She sat around depressed all night. I was so sad for her. This is a great time to mention to all of you men, pushing a stripper's boundaries, doing things she isn't comfortable with is sexual assault. And nothing less. These things sit with us forever because we're humans, not sexy piggy banks for you to stick your money in and get what you want. A man once asked me over and over and over if he could just pet your kitty. Just once. I just want to pet it just once and hear it purr. Which truly isn't that bad, but it was very annoying and creepy coming from him. Meth head caused a 40+ people fight involving almost every customer and most dancers. It was a really understaffed night for bouncers too. No one really knows why it happened. The story starts at the meth head getting hit in the head with a glass bottle. He got up. Apparently glass hit other customers, which pissed them off. But no one knew what was happening, so everyone was screaming at everyone. And then somehow female customers started fighting strippers. Everyone was moshing. It lasts like 5 to 10 minutes because there wasn't enough employees to isolate anyone. Had to wait for the cops to get there because it couldn't be broken up. Crap was crazy. What would have been your answer or question? Leave it in the comments below. Slap that like and subscribe button for more, and check out the link in the video description for even more answers. Peace out, and catch you in the next video.